passive stretching isn't doing anything. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. How about these tulips though? Most people are stretching for 30 seconds. That seems to be a standard for passive stretching, like 3 sets of 30 or something like that. But what people don't realize is that it actually takes about 2 minutes for our muscles to understand the external stimuli that it's receiving and to understand that it needs to make a change or that we want it to make a change. So if you think about a rubber band, if you're stretching it for 30 seconds, it's probably when you release it going to just come right back to its position. It's the same thing with our muscles. It takes more time for it to understand that it needs or we want it to make a change, for it to recognize the external stimulus and to actually change its length. Additionally, most people are passive stretching and not understanding that flexibility without strength is pretty meaningless. If we think about our ankles, for example, a lot of people have had the injury of rolling an ankle. My ankle, if I go ahead and even just stand on it right now, right? Like I can roll to the side. My foot is flexible enough to roll to the side of my ankle. But if I'm rolling my ankle while I'm running, if I'm rolling my ankle while I'm landing in a jump, if I'm rolling my ankle while I'm leaping or walking or tripping over something, if my ankle's not strong in that position, then that flexibility doesn't really make a difference. And that's where people are making the biggest mistakes when they're trying to get more flexible, is that they're missing the strength piece. The strength piece is going to help prevent injury. It's also going to help create more mobility, which is our ability to functionally move through a certain range of motion. So strength and flexibility combined is greater mobility. So how do we get strong in a stretch? I've already said to you that 2 minutes or longer is going to be the optimal time that we're looking to be in a stretch. Outside of that, there are several techniques that we can use in order to get strong in a stretch. And one of them is just adding either internal load or external load so that we're actually getting stronger within each stretch that we are practicing. Today, I'm going to take you guys through one of my favorite cable workouts where we're building strength within flexibility. This is me using an external load. So I'm using the cable machine. I'm using something outside of my body, but there's other techniques. For example, the FRC, functional range conditioning method, where we're utilizing pails, rails, loaded cars. All of that stuff is also another way to build strength within our flexibility, to create space within our joint capsules and essentially have greater mobility, greater range of motion. So I'm using the weight of the cable to stretch my inner thighs. So because I'm resisting the weight of the cable and then pulling on the weight of the cable, I'm allowing this stretch to also include strengthening. You can do reps here like I am, or you can just hold as well. One way to get our squat form and the mobility and flexibility of our squat on point is to use the cable as well. The weight is allowing me to perfect my squat form without too heavy of a weight. A lot of lifters think of lifting heavy weights and doing some of these exercises as a way to get strong while stretching. Like a typical RDL is stretching our hamstrings with load. That's a great exercise. This just allows us to use a little bit of lighter weight that comes from the front rather than putting a heavy load on our spine. So we're allowed to stretch in these movements without it being too heavy. So we're strengthening and stretching all at once.